Turi vandens. Tai laba diena, pradedame 2000.
Good afternoon. Let us begin our press conference of the 14th of October 2024, held by the Central Electoral Commission, where we're going to discuss the outcome of the Seimas election. Yesterday, we've elected the 14th Seimas. So let me give you some numbers. There are almost more than 2.4 million voters on the electoral roll. They were able to vote in 1,895 polling stations. Voters could also vote at 52 embassies and consular offices of the Republic of Lithuania and at additional polling stations in areas with large Lithuanian communities. Over 16,000 members worked in the electoral commissions. 981 of them worked in district commissions and over 15,000 of them worked in polling stations. We had more than 3,000 election observers who monitored the elections. A total of 273,481 voters cast their votes in early voting. This represents 11.75% of the total electorate. Compared to the elections, presidential elections, we received more than 3,000 votes compared to the presidential elections. The total number of early voters was 1,241,327, which represents 52.06%. This figure may still increase as the embassies are still waiting until Friday for the ballot papers that were sent out by yesterday. The turnout this year is higher than in 2004, 2008, 2016 and 2020. Compared to the last Seimas elections, this year the number of votes cast increased by 66,301 votes. This number is equivalent to 2 full single-mandate constituencies, or almost as many as the districts of Jonava and Utena put together. The most active voters were usually between 10 and 2 p.m., with more than 4% of the electorate voting during the hour, or a total of almost 18%. On Sunday morning, the electorate was more passive compared to the previous election. The first 3 constituencies to reach 50% turnout reached this result at 5 p.m. The 50% turnout was reached at 7 p.m. and there was not a single constituency where less than 40% of the electorate has voted. 3 constituencies, namely Old Town, Žvėrynas, and Antakalnis and Verkiai, received more than 60% of the votes. Less than 40% of the electorate voted in 2 constituencies, namely in Marių constituency and Nalšios Northern constituency. There were 15 lists of candidates available for the election, with 1,740 candidates in total, and 699 of them running in single-mandate constituencies. The results are expected to be certified this Sunday. So far, these will be preliminary results because, as I have mentioned, we are still waiting for the results from the embassies and some of the results that have not been fully entered. There were no major disturbances during the election day. Certainly by 5 o'clock we were waiting for the outcome from the UK voting, and we were wondering whether or not the same parties will enter the parliament. So when it comes to the first round of election, 8 members of parliament were elected, with 2 of them being elected under the previous system, which required receiving not only 1/5 of the votes of all the electors on the electoral roll, but also more than half of the votes of those who turned out to vote. So elected so far are Ms. Viktorija Čmilytė-Nilsen from the Liberals Union, Ms. Ingrida Šimonytė, Lithuanian Christian Democrats elected from according by the older system, Mr. Remigijus Žemaitaitis, political party The Dawn of Nemunas, Mr. Viktoras Fedorovas, self-nominated. He was elected in Kėdainiai constituency. Ms. Vaida Aleknavičienė, representing the Lithuanian Social Democrats. Mr. Yaroslav Narkevič, elected in Šalčininkai Vilnius district, representing the Lithuanian Poles electoral campaign. Ms. Rita Tamašūnienė, representing the same party. And Mr. Eugenijus Sabutis, Lithuanian Social Democrats, who was also elected based on the previous electoral system. So the remaining 63 constituencies will require a second round. For some of the candidates, the outcome is not yet final, as the difference between the second and the fifth place is less than 50 votes. And in Panemunė constituency, we have a very interesting situation with the second and the third place winners receiving the same number of votes. Six constituencies may hold a recount because the difference between the second and third place is very indiscriminate. So we are talking about the following constituencies, namely Center Žaliakalnis constituency with Mr. Gabrielius Landsbergis representing the Lithuanian Lithuanian Christian Democrats, and Linas Kairys competing in this constituency. In Saulės constituency, we're also going to hold a recount because two candidates are very close, namely Mr. Antanas Reika and Mr. Domas Griškevičius. Panevėžio Western constituency, the two candidates there in the lead are also separated with only 9 votes. In Tauragės constituency, again, we have 38 vote difference between Romualdas Vaitkus and Mr. Tadas Sadauskis, and Mažeikių constituency, the difference is of 22 votes between the first two candidates. And in Utena constituency, the difference between the two leading candidates is 22 votes. So currently the participants in round 2 would be as follows. 38 from the Lithuanian Social Democratic Party, 32 from the Homeland Union Lithuanian Christian Democrats, 13 candidates representing political party the Dawn of Nemunas, 10 candidates representing the Lithuanian Peasants Popular Union, 10 candidates from the Union of Democrats for Lithuania, 9 representatives of the Liberals movement, 3 representatives of the Freedom Party, and 3 from the Lithuanian Poles Electoral Action, including 3 members of the Lithuanian Regions Union. We have 2 self-nominated candidates and 2 representatives of the Freedom and Justice Party, as well as 1 from the National Alliance. We've received various reports yesterday, no new reports so far.
The police yesterday informed us that they received 68 reports, which is less than in 2020. Probably the most notorious incidents related to the work of the commissions are the suspension of a drunk member of a commission in the eastern district of Sela and a report about a ballot paper allegedly marked by a commission member. Unfortunately, there are cases like that, but this is a very rare occurrence. It is the only case out of 16,000 people, and the district commission called the officials to verify the sobriety of the commissioner, and after the suspicions were confirmed, she was immediately suspended, and the voting was not disturbed. It happened during the first half of the day. The timely reaction of the commission was very important. I would like to remember everyone that alcohol and elections are not compatible, and there were several voters who came to vote drunk and tried to disturb the process, but the police addressed the situation and solved the problems. And as for the marked ballot, we have received a report from the White Gloves that in Panevėžys, a member of the commission had allegedly marked a ballot paper for a voter. And when we contacted the chairperson of that commission, she explained that the member of the commission had made an explanation about voting, but had not marked the ballot paper. The commissioner was immediately warned, and to our knowledge, the district commissions are still to assess the actions of the members of the commissions regarding the code of elections. I would like to thank all the institutions which kindly helped us throughout the entire electoral process. The police helped yesterday, the patrol responded to calls by us and by our commissions, registered some violations of outdoor advertising. I would like to thank the staff for their devotion and for smooth work. This is already the fourth weekend of the election. And I would like to thank the observers of elections for monitoring the elections and providing feedback. We will react to that feedback, and we'll analyze that. We have already responded to certain comments on the election days, and I hope that it will help us to improve our procedures in the future. And of course, the voters are the most important in the elections, and we will be waiting for you in 2 weeks to participate in the last elections this year. And I'm pleased that voters are using their right to vote, and those who won't be able to vote on Sunday in 2 weeks, they will be eligible to vote an early voting Tuesday to Thursday. Thank you once again, and if there are any questions, I'll be happy to respond to them.
Rankų nematau. Tai tiesiog
I see nobody willing to ask any questions, so thank you very much for your attention. And I now end our press conference with that. And I'm also grateful to our interpreters, our sign language interpreters from the Lithuanian Sign Language Translation Center, for helping us to inform everyone, as well as I'm grateful to our interpreters from into English language. Thank you.